Hi everyone, and welcome to week 4 of your Moon Momma session. This week your assignment is to sit, sip some tea, and to journal. I'm going to give you the journaling prompt at the end of this lesson to work with, but the purpose of the assignment this week is to see how tea can really help expand your personal connection to the moon and the lunar cycles, and overall just your personal frequency. So the magic of tea is what we're working with this week. The power and the purpose of tea. So tea is the beverage that we give to someone when we want to soothe them or to soothe ourselves. It's like a hug in a cup. And it's really no surprise because tea has always been used medicinally. It is probably the oldest known medicine. It's really straight from Mama Earth. So it's no wonder that I'm sharing its power with you in the connection to really cultivate your Moon Momma spirit. Again, it's coming from the earth, right? It is out of Mama Earth's belly, and it carries such magic frequencies with it, just like crystals, just like with any fruit or vegetable or high vibration food. There's so much magic to be had in it. So Mother Nature knows how to make magic, and it comes in a cup from some really simple leaves, all right? Here are just some of the healing qualities of tea, and I wrote them down because I didn't want to miss them, and I didn't want to misspeak them either. One, it's packed with antioxidants. So when we're talking about living a high vibration lifestyle and we want to be healthy in our foods and in our frequency, you want to go to tea. It's got these medicinal qualities. We're going to talk about some of the more particulars of those later in the lesson, but it really helps flush your system, meaning any toxins that we're taking in from our environment, what we breathe. If we're still using some, personal care body products that have chemicals and toxic products in it, it's going to help those flush as well. And if we are not able to eat an entirely organic lifestyle and menu, then it's also going to help us flush things through. So antioxidants are really important in our longevity, our personal health, our wellness, and our capacity to heal if and when we do encounter a sickness or an illness. Okay? The warmth of tea is kind of unparalleled with its capacity to clear mucus from the body. So when we're sick, and somebody's like, well, drink some tea, put some lemon and some honey in it. It is not just an old wives' tale, it's an old medicine wives' tale. It's true. So the heat and the warmth of it really clears things out. If you're a member of mine at Unicorn Wellness Studio or have done other sessions with me in the past, you'll know that one of my staples of teaching is warm lemon water in the morning. And you can go search it here on YouTube. You can Google it to your heart's content. It's out there that it helps flush the system. It helps your metabolism. It helps cleanse the liver. And again, that warm water does something that cold water or room temperature water does not do. So the warmth of tea, and today we're talking herbal teas strictly, really flushes the system and really helps to clear mucus, okay? So you can ditch some of your over-the-counter medications if you haven't already. Stick around, we're gonna talk you through how to do more of that and how to do it completely in other session lessons. It creates a lower pH level in your mouth. So this is one that I thought was fascinating when I first learned it, is that tea, because of its high vibration, right, high alkaline for the most part in the herbal teas, it lowers the pH in your mouth. So you have healthier gums, healthier teeth, and less cavities. This is actually proven because of the pH levels in your mouth. So it's going to help keep your teeth and your mouth clean too. It also does not erode your teeth enamel. Hello, hooray for that. Soothes the digestive system. Okay, so if you have a sensitive tummy, if you have IBS, if you have celiac or Crohn's disease, you have a system that requires a little more care when it comes to digestion. Tea actually aids in the digestive process. If you have a system that's a little riled up and inflamed, it calms it down to assist. herbal tea is hydrating. So I can be a stickler as a purist, especially in other sessions or with private clients when we're looking to get a body hydrated, because most of y'all dehydrated. So most of your energy levels are coming from that. But again, we're not talking about that specifically today, and we do get into that in other sessions. But tea is hydrating. Herbal tea is hydrating to the system. So for all of y'all who are like, water is so boring, I need to taste a little bit of something, head to your herbal teas. This counts towards your total hydration for the day. You always want to be aiming for half of your body weight in ounces of water a day. Minimum. For some of us, it requires a little bit more for all kinds of reasons, but an herbal tea counts towards all of those ounces. Again, helps in the flushing of the system, keeps a cleaner body, keeps a cleaner mouth. It's so useful and powerful for your overall wellness. Okay, here's another one. So because it's so hydrating, it is directly helpful to your excretory system, and most in particular, your bowels. And so, yeah, we're gonna talk about your bowels around here. If we're talking health, we have to at least mention them, and we're going to talk about it. And so for healthy bowel movements, you really need the right amount, and let's just say it's more than what most people are doing, of hydration, omega-3 oils, and fiber, yes, but the other one is really about calming your stress and anxiety and adrenaline levels. So if you're typically a coffee drinker, and I will just raise my hand and say, I love espresso, I love it. However, okay, it's adding to the adrenaline pump of the body. If you love tea with caffeine, it's a better choice, and it can be constructive for your body. Again, we're not going to cover all of that today, but just know that caffeine in general is not helpful to a healthy bowel system. So if that's of interest and really a concern for you, and you deal with those kinds of things, ditching caffeine, heading towards herbal teas, getting your hydration right, really working with those omega-3 oils, and then not even so much worrying about the fiber. You want to worry about getting your adrenaline and your stress and anxiety levels down. Hello, getting on the mat with me over at unicornwellness.studio, working the meditation there, and really getting into the tarot because of the self-evaluation properties. And that in itself calms the nervous system and starts to take down your levels of anxiety. So it helps your bowel movements, and we love that for a healthy body. It increases your frequency. So around here in Unicorn Wellness, we're dealing with energy and frequency, right? We want wellness, but we want it body, mind, spirit, and energetically. So we're dealing with this integration of soul. I consider the soul to be energetics, right? But there's an energetic plane. So because tea comes from a plant, because it's high alkaline, because it's a natural product, it's going to raise your vibration and your frequency. The fact is that acidic foods bring it down. I'm not an advocate of everybody being only alkaline. I think you require a balance of things, but we always want to be more on the alkaline than on the acidic scale, okay? So hear me, I'm totally honest in this endeavor about how much of which thing, and not going to extremes, and not saying that you can't have a great vibration if you don't, have a purely alkaline food system. I don't believe that. But just know that tea is alkaline. It does increase and support your vibration. And so the more of it that you can do, it hedges out the crappy stuff, right? The things that bring your vibration down. Low vibration things being soda, way too much, coffee or caffeine, synthetic beverages of any kind, really. And so around here, we're drinking, espresso, organic, we're drinking teas, organic, and we're drinking water and kombucha. So know that tea just aids to the overall raise of your vibration. So that's a good thing around here. And the last one, which I really kind of went into it in that one, is that it's a plant. It's from Mother Earth. So again, why do I do this tea lesson to round out a Moon Momma session? Well, we want to get in alignment with the lunar cycles. And although it's in the cosmos and it is, out in outer space, we need to get grounded. So part of what I teach is that as much high vibration that you want to be, and to be able to channel your signs, symbols, and omens and have direct connection and communication with your guides and guardian angels, higher self, God, spirit, however you want to, communicate that, you have to be grounded. We are a 3D experience happening. We've got a body here on this planet. So the more we can connect to the earth and to nature, the better off we are. And actually, the more grounded we get, the more connected to the ethers we get. Okay, so tea is a plant. It's a healthy one. It's a simple one. And it can really help connect us to the lunar energies by way of Mother Earth, because everything is in balance, right? Lunar energy is balanced with solar energy. As a planet and as a collective, we function far too much from our solar masculine energy. As a collective, we're working our way out of toxic masculinity. So we're working with the moon cycles to bring in the feminine divine and the feminine energies, right? And so there's a clocking and a timing of this. Coffee, caffeine is not going to bring you into alignment with the cycles of the moon. The moon is soft. The moon is yin. And so I'm focusing on the yin soft herbal teas to bring us more towards a down-regulated state. We actually don't have a problem kind of getting all riled up. We can use that fire and it's unbelievably useful. But for the Moon Momma session, we want to get more into this restorative, reflective, receiving mode. And tea is a huge shift in our day-to-day lives in making that connection overall. And I really love that you could pick, we're going to get to the teas here in just a minute of my recommendations, as a layer of connection, just like crystals, right? It's spell work and spell casting and herbalism, and we're just touching the surface of it with teas because it's accessible. You don't have to go to an apothecary, right? You don't have to go to an herbalist to get it. You can order it, you can go to your local grocery store, and you can bring more magic into your home through the kitchen. So if I had to pick a type of witch that I would totally be a kitchen witch. Use what you've got. Use really simple, accessible, not expensive things to raise your vibration and your connection to the moon, to the cosmos, to divine spirit, and to yourself. Okay, so this is one of those lessons that sometimes gets an eyebrow raise of like, why is this included? A promise. A promise. If you integrate this work and you pick a favorite tea and you start to really see how your body responds to one tea or the other, when you sit and have a correlating cup of tea to what you're trying to work with at the new moon time in your journaling prompts, right, in your ritual, and you also have a correlating cup of tea during your full moon journaling prompts and your full moon rituals every month, it's almost like you add this like soothing wave to the ocean, and it really smooths things out and just adds another layer of high vibration energy to the process that supports your evolution, supports your healing, and supports your highest and greatest good. And on that note, I'm going to take a sip. Okay. So here's my 2 cents on tea before we get to my recommendations of things. When it comes to tea, you must, and I say must, there are a few times really when I get like, this is the way you have to do it. You must be drinking and choosing organic tea. Okay, tea leaves are tiny and small, right? But they are porous and delicate like no other food source is. They suck up pesticides, chemicals, toxins like nobody's business. So if you want to be reaping the magic and the reward of sipping a beautiful cup of tea, you have to be drinking organic. If you're not drinking organic tea, tea leaves typically aren't even rinsed before they go through the drying process and the packaging process. I will not go through and list the companies that are super dirty and extra icky. If you want that information, you can email me or you can head to the private Facebook group and maybe we'll talk about it in there, which ones to really stay away from. That watch the PR and marketing of things that seem soothing and calming. Make sure you're reading the package labels and always choose organic when it comes to tea. If you are not drinking organic tea, you're missing all of the magic, all of the medicinal qualities of it, and you're really just drinking warm chemical water, to be honest, okay? Another layer to cleanliness of your tea. So yes, you want it to be organic. Then you're gonna pick up the box and you're gonna really look at the ingredients in that tea. I am always a purist with what I'm doing. I don't want other things mixed in, because then you mix in your magic, right? If we're gonna talk about a certain kind of tea, but it's got layers of other things in it, you just made a different spell, right? Like the energetic layers are different. Combinations matter. And most tea is packaged for, you know, flavor or just for marketing and PR purposes. They're not really crafting from a medicinal, herbalist, energetic, magical standpoint in the least bit, okay? So check the ingredients. One, that there's just a sole ingredient in it, or that you know what the ingredients are and that they're a fit for your body. Make sure you are not consuming tea, even if it's organic, that says natural flavoring or natural flavors. This is a loophole of ingredients, which makes me crazy for all kinds of reasons. If you have a sensitive system, if you have allergies, intolerances, sensitivities, if you have an autoimmune disease, if you have celiac, if you've got Crohn's disease, any of these things that gives the digestive system like it needs way more attention, you need to stay far away from anything that says natural flavors or natural flavoring. This is a loophole of fillers, chemicals, toxins, thickeners, and big alert here, gluten. And I know people are like, what? It's true. That's all you need to know, okay? So be very aware of what you're consuming, in particular tea, because it is so delicate, because it is so porous, and because it is so magical. You want to make sure you are getting a straightforward organic leaf in your cup and in what you're brewing, okay? So if you want to learn more about my food philosophy, I would love for you to do that. And I go into a lot more in depth and in detail in my food reset. And you can find the food reset in the Unicorn Wellness Handbook on Amazon. There's a link below in the description. Or for everyone who's a member at unicornwellness.studio, once you log into your personal account there, the food reset is downloadable for you all in its entirety. So it's like 87 pages. It's totally, I want you all having this information, but the cleanliness factor and why I'm a purist when it comes to food is all there. And it's all very much about healing your gut, increasing your frequency, and cracking your personal food code, using what works for you, not what somebody else said, and not getting tied too close to one set of rails than the other. There are baseline structures for wellness and for increasing our vibration, but we want to make sure that we know what works for us, because we are so absolutely unique and individual, and we all have different layers. But when it comes to tea, cleanliness absolutely matters, and I'm always of the do no harm space. Stay away from the weird stuff that you just don't know what it is, because it's like putting tinctures in and a science experiment that you don't know if that little piece is going to blow the whole thing up or not. It changes what we're trying to do. So stick with just the one ingredient organic teas. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here's the fun stuff. Okay. So the teas I'm recommending are what I love. We are looking at the flavors of teas from a medicinal aspect, from a magical aspect, and from an energetic aspect that will connect us to the lunar cycles via Mama Earth, okay? So my first tea that we're recommending for the Moon Momma session is rose tea, okay? Rose tea is typically found in white teas, and this will be the only one with like the asterisk by it. White teas do have caffeine in them. They are known to be highly medicinal and highly effective for cancer prevention. So I did slip this one in here. So just like in lesson 1, when we talked about rose quartz, right? Anything rose is the frequency of love. So of course we want to be ingesting it. Of course we want to include it in the Moon Momma session. So rose tea has the frequency of love and personal empathy. I find that when you're ingesting rose, this is about self-love, self-care, feeding yourself from an empathetic lens, and really growing and filling in those spaces and places from the heart out. So love is the ultimate healing frequency. It is the light, and anything that we do that can up that quotient, we want to do it, okay? The additional piece of rose that is so magical and medicinal is that it helps balance the good and bad bacteria in your gut bio, okay? So the biodome, the biosphere of your belly, you have more serotonin receptors in your gut than you do in your brain. So when we're looking at full circle wellness and health, if you continue and still deal at times with depression or anxiety, we want to look at your food, and we need to be looking at the balance between the good and bad gut bacteria. So you know them as probiotics, right? And so if you're here on this channel and you're watching this, I'm assuming a bit that you have a little knowledge and understanding of a probiotic being a good gut bacteria. But what rose tea, or what rose does when it's ingested, is it helps balance and flush. So it helps support the good in growing, and then it helps decrease and flush out the bad gut bacteria. It is not on its own a probiotic, it's a helper, okay? So what I want to say here also is like the little caveat. If you do well with a little bit of caffeine, this is a power hitter when it comes to digestion and when it comes to help balancing out anxiety, stress, and depression, okay? Give it 2 weeks of consuming it, and I would say only a cup a day is totally useful. Drink it in the morning because the caffeine is like real and it will sustain you. So you want to do it early and not late in the afternoon to where it keeps you up all night. Be aware that when you do rose tea, you're gonna hear some sounds and some stuff and some sensations in your small intestines, okay? So in the colon, you're gonna hear it. And you're gonna feel it. There's gonna be gurgling and stuff. And you're gonna be like, is this okay? Is this gonna be? Yes, give it 2 weeks, okay? Because it's in there balancing. It's like in there doing its little clean sweep and tucking things away and telling other stuff to go away and building space for other stuff, all right? So rose is a beautiful one. It can be, I wouldn't say it's intense, but you may hear and feel some things in your digestive system when you begin it. After 2 weeks, it pretty much settles out, and then you're good to go, okay? The next one is Tulsi tea. Okay, if you don't know about Tulsi, oh, now's the time, okay? Tulsi has been used for like thousands of years in Ayurvedic medicine. So it is inherently and absolutely medicinal in its qualities. It actually has too many benefits to list in this lesson. And it's just one that you're welcome to go Google and like go find out what you want to about it if you need to know more. Its main benefit in drinking Tulsi tea is that it is anti-anxiety and de-stressing. It is supportive to your sympathetic nervous system in down-regulating that sympathetic nervous system in literally magical ways. It's known as holy basil, like a basil leaf. It's not basil as we know it in Western culture for cooking with, but again, it's a little leaf and it's known as holy basil because it is believed and shown to have so many healing qualities that I'm not into vitamins and supplements, but this is like a 1 a day just for good cultivation of a more calm system. So beautiful. So moon energy is feminine energy. It's yin energy. Rose tea, because it's got a little bit of caffeine in it, has got a little bit of fire. It's more of a balanced tea. Tulsi is absolutely yin. So it's asking you to calm down. Just give it a little bit of space. It has been proven to be more effective than St. John's wort when it comes to anxiety management and help and support. So if these are things that you're familiar with and little flags and bells and whistles are going off, like absolutely get Tulsi in your cabinet now. So the only other piece, which would kind of be like a, oh yeah, duh, is if you have sleep issues and sleep disorders or difficulty falling asleep or difficulty staying asleep. Tulsi is one of those teas that if you could have it maybe an hour before your bedtime, so that you've got 20 minutes for it to kick in and then another 20 to use the restroom before you go to bed, so that's not interrupting your sleep. It's really powerful. And again, think of them, microdosing is all of the rage as a term, but think of teas as microdosing things throughout your day and week. It is not, a pill popping sensation where it's going to cure something instantaneously. This is about fueling your life from a place of support and nourishment and nurturing in tiny increments over time. So it's literally akin to what I do on the mat in 30 minutes at a time. We're not doing these big knockdown, drag out workouts. We're doing 30 minutes that are just enough to make a difference, but we're looking at cultivating those in a lifetime practice. So tea is really the same thing, that it's in small doses, minimal, but the more often you do it, you're templating your internal system, you're templating your system from the inside out, and you're working with the body rather than against it, okay? Your next tea of recommendation for this lesson is peppermint. Okay, so peppermint's kind of like, it's very cooling to the system, and it's also invigorating. And you're kind of like, okay, so the cooling properties would be the yin properties of the moon. But the invigorating part is with the full moon. So we just had our full moon session, is like there's energy and vibrancy to things. And you do want to have the capacity to put yourself in front and to be seen when the time is right. And so peppermint, I would put more on like the full moon spectrum, like from the full moon and the 2 weeks past that. And Tulsi, you can drink it anytime and every day, but it might be more of the new moon 2 weeks. And so you can kind of split these up and play with how they affect your system, how it speaks to you. But peppermint is that feminine cooling energy. And as a collective culture, especially in Western cultures, we tend to run too hot as a body internally. And so there's all these terms today in today's lessons of alkaline and acidic and hot and cool, and like kind of where these all fall. I'm introducing a lot of things without going too in depth. Some of you will know what I mean. But the goal is to keep you around for these sessions, because I speak more in depth to these things in different sessions, right? So when you're looking at hot heat, right, we're looking at caffeine, a lot of animal proteins that are not clean, animal proteins, and these amp a system up. They also create inflammation in the body. And so if you head towards my food reset, and you start to read, the concepts of inflammation and why you need to tend to them. Lowering inflammation in the body is just a good thing overall for your health and wellness. And that comes hand in hand with taking, lowering the acidity levels in your food, upping the alkaline levels in your food. So if we're going from acidic to alkaline, this would be heat and hot, and this would be cool and temperate, okay? So peppermint is cooling. And so most bodies that I come in contact with, and mine included, I have autoimmune issues. So if you have autoimmune disorders or diseases, you absolutely have a system that tends to run hot, and you need all of the cooling properties you can possibly get. If you know your astrology chart and you know there's a ton of fire in there, you need to go towards all of the cooling pieces. So peppermint in any of its form, essential oil, tea, or just eating the leaves, throwing them in a salad, is so useful and really necessary, okay? And the last tea of choice in your magical moon apothecary here is hibiscus, okay? And I get real excited about hibiscus because I find hibiscus to be so magical for all the reasons. I'm going to refer to hibiscus as a she. really is magical in its medicinal properties and is absolutely known to cultivate clairvoyance. So your psychic gifts and your psychic properties and your capacity to sift, sort, and understand and really hear your messaging from divine spirit increases with the consumption of hibiscus. This is from the magical perspective of things. If you've never seen hibiscus tea, it's like hot pink, like so gorgeous. So clearly very feminine, right? It's the color of blood. So it's a tonic to our circulatory system, and it's also absolutely grounding and rooting. So it has a lot to do with the healing of the root chakra, in particular for women who have menstrual cycle issues. If you don't have issues, it's just a beautiful support. Again, this is a do no harm kind of tea that we want to, as women, man, you all need to be drinking a cup every day, okay? I find it to be extra supportive for those heading into the perimenopausal stage, menopause, and post-menopause as well. It is packed with vitamin C, okay? It is also really, 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 really powerful and proven scientifically to lower your blood pressure and the bad cholesterol. So overall, it's got a super witchy vibe. It is absolutely used for medicinal and for spell work for all of these reasons. It is the vibration of love, okay? And again, the most powerful healer, but it has such this grounded, rooted connectedness to Mama Earth and to the root chakra. It's powerful for overall healing in a body. Little silly side note that I found so endearing when I was doing research on hibiscus is that it is the favorite snack of caterpillars. Hello, all the symbolism and magic in that is that you go from a ground crawler, and caterpillars are like munching on hibiscus when they can to fuel their metamorphosis into the butterfly. So I really recommend this fueling your metamorphosis, right? And again, new or full moon, when we're looking at moon cycles and anchoring into the power and the frequency of it, we are looking at expanding our life to its highest and fullest potential in this incarnation. We want to be fueled for it, and we're looking and actively seeking metamorphosis. So it's the snack of the caterpillars, and I think we should all be drinking like 2 or 3 cups a day. The other piece that I thought was, what was the other one? There was another really sweet one. This idea of clairvoyance and that it expands your psychic capacity and kind of helps tune your abilities is that it is said to bring in good spirits and surround you with good spirits. So again, low vibration food, things that come out of packages, things that are highly processed, things that are really acidic, that's gonna bring some bad juju around. We don't want that. We don't need it. We're gonna have enough challenges in our lifetime that we don't need to cultivate it. So hibiscus as a tea, I think is a really simple, magical way to increase empathy and love and balance and a connection to divine spirit, okay? All right, those are the tea recommendations. So your assignment for this week is to pick one or try them all. Teas, sit, sip with your journal and work with this journaling prompt, this question. Each of us at every point in our life are standing at a crossroads. Question 1 for this lesson is, what is the crossroads you are currently standing at? So this could be career, this could be emotional, right? It could be emotional maturity, that's typically the crossroads, right? It could be in relationships, you know, it could simply be about moving, like functional spaces and places that you're living. And I think I said it before about careers. Like you are standing currently at a crossroads. Whether you know it or not, you are. What is the crossroad you are currently standing at? Okay, so that's question 1 for the assignment this week. And question 2, the follow-up question is, when you have this crossroads that you're standing at, I'm going to phrase it for you that 1 is for your highest and greatest good and for your best personal expansion. And 1, either keeps you exactly where you are, stay the course, right? Maybe it's like this, like one goes forward and one splits off to the side, or you can go backwards, right? You can try to recreate the past and really slide backwards in all of these areas. So you have a fork, you have a trident, and you have these capacities. This being your highest and greatest good, what is your perceived or literal block to choosing that path of the highest and greatest good, most empowering? That tends to be in alignment with, like, what is your best life? What is your biggest dream? What is the biggest goal? So question one is, what is the crossroads you're currently standing at in your life? And again, when we ask these, for some, it's going to be epic. And for others, it's going to be like, not so epic. I kind of like what I got going on. That's cool. But then there's a smaller one somewhere in there that you're still working with because you're human and because you're here. Then the follow-up question is, what is it that prevents me from choosing the highest and greatest good, most empowering, most magical, biggest path? And understand that the things that we believe to block us, can be literal, physical, functional, mental, emotional. Like, go through all of it. Because by identifying and asking the question and working with the journaling, you're going to find out, like, I don't really have anything blocking me from this. Or myself, I'm standing here just telling myself I can't do it. Or you're going to go, nope, I don't live in the right area. My resource sources are kind of low right now, and it's not in a space where I can just jump straight into this. So at times we have real blocks to things, but that's when you head for the new moon and you go, okay, what's the path to clearing the blocks to getting on that path? Or you sit there and you go, holy shit, I don't have anything blocking me. Okay, I'm going for it. Okay, so these are the 2 journaling prompts for your assignment this week, because the assignment is to sit, sip, and journal with a magical tea of your choice out of this list. Make sure it's organic, and to ask that question of yourself. Then I want you to answer the first question in the comments below. What is the crossroads you're currently standing at in your life? Share it, be bold, be loud about it, and be willing to put yourself and it out there, because you have to put things out into the universe in order to receive answers and to show the guides and guardian angels that you are brave in your commitment to your self-evolution. Okay, so thank you for going through these sessions with me. If you've missed any of the lessons before, they're all here on this channel. Videos 1, 2, 3, and now this one, 4. Please subscribe to this channel. Click the little bell so that you get the alert when the next session lesson comes out. They do come out every week. I'm doing a session every month this year, okay? We've got a little bit of a gap in time, I think because of the holidays, but the next session, Witch's Work, begins, the first lesson will be out January 6th. I believe that's the Sunday that it comes out. But if you click the bell, then it just shows up and you'll know when it's here, okay? Also, if you feel so inclined, share this video. Let others find this magic to help improve their life, to help generate joy, and to really craft and create the world we want to see and the energies we want to see in it. This is about cultivating the consciousness to the highest and greatest good, so share it. If you are interested in booking a private session with me, a tarot reading, simple stars astrology reading, or the deep dive overall wellness consultation, all of the links are below in the description section. And if you're interested in trying a 30-day guest membership on my site at unicornwellness.studio, there is also a promo code below in the description that you can go use that code for 30 days free on the site, okay? So understand that here on this channel that I'm doing all of the session lessons. This is really class, right? This is the philosophy, this is the work, this is getting into ourselves and into the journaling prompts. And unicornwellness.studio, as members over there, this is the practical functional tactics to raise the vibration, clear the blocks, expand your energy, and generate the most magnificent and magical healing in your personal life and in your personal energetic sphere. I love you very much. If you have any questions, ask below, leave your comments. I love to hear from you, and I will see you next time.